Since Christmas is coming up, we're going to read a Christmas story today, and we're going to make a little Santa Claus project. So this story is called A Night in Santa's Great Big Bag. Ooh. So a little lamb is going to accidentally go in Santa's sack, and he's going to get to go on a sleigh ride. Tonight is Christmas Eve, Louis, the little boy, told Lamb. Santa is coming with his great big bag. There are more toys inside it than in my whole entire toy box. There are more toys in Santa's bag than there are in any toy store. Lamb, who happened to be Louis's favorite toy, liked toy boxes. Lamb liked toy stores. That is why when Louis was asleep, Lamb crept downstairs to watch Santa come down the chimney with his great big bag. And that is why, when Santa wasn't looking, Lamb tiptoed over to the bag. He peeked in. It was dark, but he thought he could see a light in the distance. See the light shining? He pushed his nose in farther, and suddenly, Lamb was all the way inside the great big bag. He didn't even notice when Santa picked it up and went back out into the night. So there's Santa at Louis's house giving the presents, and Lamb snuck down and snuck into the bag. Inside the bag, Lamb looked about in wonder. It was so big that Lamb couldn't see the end. All he could see were toys. Balls bouncing, robots tumbling, helicopters hovering, trucks beeping, trains whistling. If only Louis could see this, thought Lamb. A doll with brown eyes and brown hair said to Lamb, "I am a look-alike doll." She sounded important, like Louis's older sister. "I am a present for a girl, and I look just like her," the doll told Lamb. "Who do you look like?" "I look like me," said Lamb. "Are all of these toys presents?" "Of course," said the doll. "Whose present are you?" But before Lamb could answer, a shout went up from the toys. "It's time! It's time! It's time!" they all shouted. Santa's hand reached into the bag and picked up a dump truck. "Goodbye!" shouted the dump truck. "Goodbye!" shouted the toys. Santa's hand reached in again and picked up the doll. "Goodbye!" shouted the doll. "Goodbye!" shouted all the toys. "Where'd they go?" said a voice near Lamb. Turning around, Lamb saw a toy backhoe. Oh, look at his face. He looked scared. The backhoe was nervous, the way Louis had been on the first day of school. "That was Santa," said Lamb. "Louis says that he gives presents to children on Christmas Eve. I'm supposed to be a present for a boy," said the backhoe. "You'll like that," said Lamb. "Santa brought Louis a toy backhoe last year. It can dig up rocks and sand." "I have never dug up rocks and sand before," said the backhoe. Lamb showed the backhoe how to use its bucket for digging and its shovel for pushing. "Sometimes Louis lets me ride in the shovel," said Lamb. Lamb climbed in, and the backhoe took him on a ride through Santa's bag. Remember, they're still in the bag. Some of the toys they met didn't know what to expect when Santa delivered them. A jigsaw puzzle said, "I used to be a picture of a puppy. Now I'm all broken into pieces." Lamb said, "Don't worry. Someone will put you back together. That's what Louis does with puzzles." A train engine was having trouble pulling its cars along the wooden track. "I can't get them to follow me," it wailed. "That happens to Louis's train engine sometimes," said Lamb. "You're backwards. You need to go to the other end of the cars so the magnets stick, right?" Lamb liked talking to the toys. He liked making them feel better. "Goodbye," he called, as one by one they left the great big bag. "Goodbye," called the backhoe when it was time to go. "I hope my boy has a lamb just like you." Now there were only 2 toys left in the great big bag, Lamb and a little bunny. The bunny's eyes were squeezed shut. "What are you doing?" asked Lamb. Santa's giving me to a little girl, said the bunny. I am supposed to sleep with her every night, so I'm practicing sleeping. Lamb giggled. You don't need to practice going to sleep. No? The bunny opened his eyes. Louis and I just crawl under the covers and talk to each other until we fall asleep, said Lamb. It's the easiest thing in the world. Then Santa took the bunny out of the bag, and Lamb was left all alone. He couldn't help thinking about Louis. He wished that he were home under the covers with Louis. And then Lamb had a terrible thought. What if Santa thought he was a present for someone else? What if he gave him to somebody else, somebody who wasn't Louis? Oh dear, here was Santa's hand coming to get him. A moment later, Lamb was out of the bag, and the air was cold as Santa was looking down at him. Why, Lamb, said Santa, what are you doing in my bag? I wanted to see the toys, said Lamb. I'm not a present. I belong to Louis. Well, I know that, said Santa. I brought you to Louis when he was only a baby. Don't you remember? Oh, Lamb did not remember. I suppose you were too young, said Santa. Just a baby yourself. Please don't give me to someone else, please, said Lamb. No, why would I do that, said Santa. I'm going to take you back home to Louis. Oh, phew, look how fun that looks. He's sitting on Santa's lap. And that is how Lamb became to sit aside Santa on his sleigh. There were stars above him. There were stars below him. Santa said those stars were houses with lights. One of the houses belonged to Louis, and Lamb thought he remembered just a little coming to that house a long time ago. What a beautiful picture, isn't it? Louis isn't very good at remembering things from when he was a baby either, said Lamb, as Santa tucked him into Louis's stocking. Do you think he will remember that this is where he found you the first time? Asked Santa. I'll tell him, said Lamb. I'll tell him, and I'll tell him all about your great big bag. And on Christmas morning, that is exactly what Lamb did. That's one of my favorite stories. All right, so we're going to color our little Santa page. So your paper is stapled. Just pull it apart, and your staple comes apart. So I'm going to let you color your Santa however you want, or you can color it how I color it. But if you're at home and you want to make your Santa a colorful Santa, go right ahead. So first things first, I'm going to make my Santa a regular colored Santa. I'm going to start with his hat. And I'm going to use I'm going to use my skin color crayon. And I'm going to color, so Santa has a white beard, right? And he has white eyebrows. But I'm going to color his skin, my skin color. And I'm going to make his nose like a little bit pink, since he has a pink, rosy nose being out there on the sleigh in the night. All right. Then I'm going to color his suit red. Normally Santa's suit is red and white, but you can color it however you want, or you can make it the right colors. Yeah. All right, that looks really great. So, parts of his suit are still going to stay white. Ooh, around his beard. We're going to do his belt. You can do his belt in a moment. I'm going to do the rest of his suit on this side of our paper. All right. So let's see. Santa's belt. Is it black? I think it's black. And maybe it has like a golden buckle. There it is. That looks good, huh? And then I'm gonna do it with a crayon, so my black marker doesn't mix in with my yellow marker. That looks good. And then I'm gonna work over here. I'm gonna do his boots. We'll do like golden buckles on his boots. There we go. Ooh, it's tricky to color around his buckles, isn't it? I think you guys can do a good job though. One boot and two boots. And what color? I'm looking ahead. I'm thinking about his gloves. What color gloves does Santa wear? Are they white? I think maybe they're white gloves. Or are they black gloves? I don't know, but I think I'm gonna leave them white. But I do know that his pants are gonna be red. Red pants. And then red sleeves, but we're still gonna have white gloves and white around his sleeve there. It's like kind of furry. All right, so right now, if you are not done coloring and you want to make yours look like mine, make sure you press pause right now, because I'm gonna start cutting mine out. So press pause if you need to. And now this cutting is a little bit tricky. I would like you to try to do it by yourself. That would be what we would normally do at school. So just try your best to cut around on the black line by yourself. Or maybe you can cut out one page and then a grown-up, mommy or daddy or a grandma or a grandpa, whoever is there at home with you, can help you do the other page. So I've got my Santa body cut out. I'm gonna do his two legs. One. His little gloves. There we go. I feel like my scissors are a little bit too small for my hand. I think my hand is growing. Another arm. And then I've got one more leg to do. All right, and then you'll need your glue stick, okay? So, we've got our Santa there. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue just on the tops of his legs, just right on the top, and then I'm gonna stick it under. I'm gonna put some glue on the top of his other leg and stick it under. There's his legs. Then I'm gonna put some glue on the tops of his arms. And I'm gonna stick it under. And I'm gonna put glue on the top of his other arm and stick it under. Now you can glue his arms up, you can glue his arms down. There he is. He looks like he's about to give me a hug. Oh, Mrs. Barrios. Oh, Mrs. Barrios. All done. You can hang him up somewhere in your house.